on the minds of these AGO players because they're actually looking forward to taking part in ESL Pro League for this upcoming season 15. Whereas, they were able to top their make it out via the ESEA Premier last season as a result. But now that safety net's no longer there, so you actually need to sort of solidify yourself a conference position so that you can reposition yourself back into the ESL Pro League should things go askew. Nobody has high expectations in that respect for AGO, but we're gonna have to see how this one all pans out. Who is actually going to cement themselves within the bottom of the group? Because if they lose this, I don't think there is a way back.
Oh, Nolly over here taking first contact. He's got two. The dualies giving us a double early in, and MHL will be able to trade, but Shalfie's got a bit of a longer name. Hey,
yeah,
it's all right. You can't really blame him for that one, I suppose. It's man's loyal to his team and sponsor. Fiku, in the meanwhile, with the P250, trying to get a quick shot into Temple, but is unable to do so. Kenzie will have heard him retreating backwards, so despite that smoke being chucked in, the call should be made that this could be a B-side hit.
Yeah, nobody really rotating here on the side of fours. It's only Jerry with the dualies. These were recovered off of the body of Nori. So the success he got with those 2 kills, Jerry wants a piece of that action. He's turned the wrong way, though, but they're not even looking for him. They're actually looking to see if they can recover any sort of additional resources or something off of the ground, but MHL will be there to trade. There is at least enough time for them to try and get this one planted, but HO aren't picking up the pace just yet, waiting for these rotates.
It's all going to come down to whether or not MHL can find a quick kill and back off. Remember, this is a potential double P coming in from forZe, but they've left Shalfie to be watching the back lines because they're relying on Kenzie to do it all on his own. Fiku now would like to see them maybe just wait it out, but they might not have been expecting him to already be on the bomb site. Nice tap from the B250, but too many difficult angles to clear out at this stage. Kenzie's been swung into. Fiku makes it competitive, that's for sure, but not quite able to win it out.
Yeah, great job there from forZe to be doubling up in a flanking position like that, because it does mean that it's kind of harder to break past that. But AGO, I think, not recognizing early enough that they had enough time to get that plant in, not going for the bomb plant, means that they, of course, don't get the extra money injection for follow-up rounds. And so that could be a decision they come to regret, but could certainly see the thought process.
Ooh.
Oh, firework. Just pops right in front of them, but forZe are looking to take some deeper control over towards B. A little one-way smoke. Jerry, this is that playmaking ability you're talking about. Just likes to get into the face of his opponents to create more room for all of his young stars. He just takes all the attention himself, gets some extra cash as well.
I'm not quite sure if it's as much creating room as one would hope, but yeah, that's, you know what, if he gets the numbers, he gets the numbers. That's all that matters. 4 kills and all with the MP9. A lot of money. You can see it reflected over there. He can drop over the AWP to Zorta if they'd like to upgrade into this one. AGO are going to have the money to be able to get a full AK buyout, so I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, he got 2,400 for that, so it's
juicy.
It's lined his pockets. I think if you do get 3 or 4 SMG kills, it might actually just be a mistake not to upgrade, but they're sticking to it. See if they can grab some of these AKs for free.
A couple of these utilities from forZe haven't really looked the cleanest. I think one of those grenades flying over towards the lane position also did actually miss out from where it popped on the minimap. I might be wrong about that one.
May not be as well drilled as they like. But they got a good nade at the start of this round. MHL and Furlan were the receivers of that. Good catch.
Nice timing to the follow-up as well. They're just trying to bait them into this. Jerry's been heavily tagged. Don't know if he bought in for that quite deeply. Nice nade as well on top of it. That could have been his death, if not for him being able to reposition just ever so slightly.
They'll know he's tagged, and that's why forZe have moved in for 3 players over towards this B bomb site. That's exactly where AGO are positioned for an execute as well, so they're looking to burst onto the scene, but forZe will have the numbers to deal with this.
Oh, good flash in. Nori's got the instant kill and information on 2 more. A smoke on the other side does come out, and the CTs are going to end up still in a 4-on-4. They've prevented the terrorists from rotating in, but it all comes down to what Kenzie can get down from Red Room. In case AGO want to start rotating back to the A bomb side, they have to do it soon. Time is running low. But now it feels like they're a bit too hard committed to even consider it, and forZe must realize that as well. Shalfie.
Not moving an inch.
Just keeps an eye out. The smoke's going to maybe even make it difficult for AGO to cross in. He can just start spraying through a couple of flashes. The boost is there as well. Shalfie's got great damage. Jerry, however, can't quite pick up the slack. Zorte's going to have to swing out. Krasnal with a key headshot will give them an opportunity to plant, and that's what they take. Back to a 3-on-2. There are flashes to go back into it, and that's what Shalfie's going to be setting up for.
Got both of his flashes to him. kenzie trying to create some room as he's the high HP player of the two that remain here for forZe, but not going to be given too many opportunities. No Molotov, no smoke as well for that cave position, so it's really difficult for forZe to break in, and it seems like they may just tap out of this one. AGO have played it too calm, too patient, haven't gone for any of these early peaks. That could have led forZe to commit to this retake, so instead they'll have to concede it. AGO, they kind of get ground to a halt there. forZe knew exactly what was coming their way. You were talking about them being too committed, and I agree that there was almost no room for them to dial back over towards that A side because kenzie was still keeping an eye on that mid control. And then when it really came to just being able to get that double entry, meant that forZe didn't have enough real estate on the bomb site to play with, nor the resources. In fact, like they used up so much of their utility stalling.
Yeah. And yeah, if Shalfie gets a kill over there with the spam, maybe things are different, but at the same time, you can't be relying on that even as good as it might seem. Furlan smokes a little bit missed, and Shalfie is able to punish off the back of it. A stray headshot through the smoke will give him that kill. An early advantage for forZe is found. With a lot of utility being used by the AGO side as well as losing that one player, this could be fairly difficult.
See, a lot of players these days go for the spam in towards Cheetah. Those walls are paper thin. Not enough to actually like wallbang straight through, but if you're forward enough, it could certainly work out. Zorte with an opening pick in towards middle, had a teammate alongside him as well, and now the double cave setup as well. Jerry takes all the attention. That means another player can move on in, but Jerry's just stealing the show. Another multi-kill in from the in-game leader for forZe, and that's where Nori comes in to sweep up all the rest. 3 rounds now on the CT side here for forZe, but this is what you were kind of alluding to earlier on. You know, Jerry is just setting himself up in these spots where he is frequently the first point of contact.
It's very interesting to see how Jerry actually plays that one out, where he goes for the secondary peak. Ordinarily, what you see is players just fall back and let the crossfire do the work. But Jerry instead sort of makes the internal decision that, hey, as long as we have someone holding cave, I'd rather that and then peek, and even if I die, it's fine because it's a 1-for-1. It's a different approach for sure than what's sort of now more traditionally played, but it can work out as a surprise factor if nothing else. Lemon, what blind? Oh no!
He just spammed straight through the smoke. Like they wanted to go for a deep B control. Didn't see him.
He doesn't even M4A1.
Yeah. Lemon knew what he was doing, but didn't quite expect to get results like that.
And this is one of those rounds which forZe can sometimes be likely to lose. Not always had the best of records against force spies on Ancient, from what I remember, but this isn't even a force spy.
Yeah, just the one Galil. They're not even moving in to pick up those weapons just yet because they know forZe will want to make some kind of counter reaction. Here's Zorte. First line found. Fiku dropped. And so one of these Glocks has been taken out of the equation. There is another. Lemon, of course, the efforts he pulled through with the Galil will be held at least in the storybooks here for AGO. Should this be a round win, a bomb site is being perused by Furlan, but forZe seem to have some sort of indication. They are rotating heavy towards this site. 15 seconds.
They don't really have much, so they'll have to commit with players, and with Shalfie this far off, Kenzie's the only one who can take aggressive stance. He's inside Temple, misses out on his first opportunity, and Zorte, as he's backing off, is caught out by Krasnal. That Galil's providing so much value to them. Now Shalfie has to be able to find this kill, but Krasnal straight to the head. And there he's dead. Kenzie, he was the second player, thought for a second that he'd be the one getting aggressive, but when Zorte ends up falling, he just backs off in Temple, waits up for Shalfie to make a move, expecting that Shalfie would be able to preview, but no, not at all.
And that's kind of a nightmare round there from forZe. Not only are you losing 2 players basically for free, like it all came courtesy of a spam from Lemon, but then after the fact, it's not even players with armor. You know, it's as bare bones as you can make it there on the side of AGO without breaking the bank.
Yeah.
That's a crazy round for AGO to be getting away with, and forZe will know it.
It's even nuttier that Lamont did that with the Galil, actually. I thought it was an AK, but when I saw it initially, and then I realized, wow, okay, that's just insane. Spray control, you've got to know to be able to do that. It's nuts.
And the big story is going to be if Jerry is unsuccessful in some of these opening exchanges, who's going to be able to provide that same level of capability in the late round? The same way that, I mean, Jerry, sometimes you might not even say, like, him dying is a bad thing, because then he can micromanage a lot of these younger guys.
That's always a narrative that I felt like is maybe stretched slightly thin in that regard. Jerry, though, he is delivering, and right now it's on to Lamont. Not quite the most honorable of ways to get a kill, but he'll take it nonetheless. Now they're setting up for a quick peek out. Double peek is there. Norway's got the win. Great frag to find, and now they know that there's 3 players funneled into cave, but the bomb's been left in the back line. Zort is already here as well. Norway has rotated back to the bomb site. Jerry's going to be providing a bit more support. Furlan, good for 2, and MHL had to get that frag. Zorte just side swipes in and takes him out.
Gets his hands back on that AWP as well. That was stolen away from him in that low investment round from AGO. But almost every one of these fights outside of the opening fight from Jerry, where he just spams straight through to that B bomb site, almost every one of the duels has a secondary forZe player ready for the trade, and AGO didn't have that same liberty.
And this is very reminiscent of the fact that AJ, Michael, even the last time we saw them play, they literally only went to the B-bomb site. They only went to A once, which was on an eco, which is the same thing that's happening over here. And I would be damned if forZe isn't doing some sort of counter read into it with how heavily they're willing to rotate players back to B. AGO's being read like an open book, and I'm really hoping that the next chapter has been edited a little bit.
Mm-hmm. It's actually one of the criticisms that we have of forZe's D side, weirdly enough,
true,
as well. So,
ooh.
Real deep flash outside of A, and it was enough to blind up MHL. Whole squad.
I know you're not
affected.
Flash. I know you're not affected by those things, Michael, as you're an analyst, but those op headshots really do hit different.
Yeah, they do. Brain rattlers.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure if Jerry's spidey senses were tingling. Seemed to have some idea that someone could cross, but not feeling bold enough to push behind him.
Don't you taunt him. You know, man's gonna end up doing it right now, though. Shelfie's the man who has to do it. Picks up one. Actually talks himself back into the previous corner rather than swinging over for a little bit more defensive position while Krasnell. See, I told you, Michael. I told you. That's on you.
Gonna do it at some point. This comes bunny hopping around the corner, and
that's MP9 glory right there.
Headbutt.
Some Zinedine Zidane moves on the field.
That is a throwback.
Yeah, good times.
What World Cup was that? I'm trying to think.
04? Or maybe 08.
I don't think it was that long ago. I don't think
it was 08 actually.
Yeah, probably 08. Yeah.
Dan knew that the world needed entertainment after the recession. Oh no. Jerry,
back and forth spam.
Reloading. Okay, so they don't quite commit through the smoke over here. Jerry did have a bit of... Oh, Norway's just dead. Jerry, that was his backup over there. Norway just gets spammed through. Furlan. Nicely done.
Want to maintain control of this B site. Talked about the tendency to go towards this particular area. And that's where AGO are composed to. They're running a little bit dry on this utility. Jerry's even fancying the peek on through, and he swapped out weapons just before committing to it. That's a freebie there for Krasnell. They didn't get their hands on that additional rifle, but they'll know that with this numbers advantage, it shouldn't be one that lets slip. The AWP of MHL is well spotted out. Kenzie jumping across the crosshair. But grinding the time down a little too low here on the side of AGO. They gotta move.
And now with the full rotation coming over from forZe, they have to move in soon. Zorte's got some great movement while blind, and because of Kenzie's support, he's able to keep himself alive. Now down to a 3-on-2, but Fiku will find another kill through the smoke for AGO. 20 seconds left, though, and it's going to be very tricky. Zorte's tucked into the cubby, wants to peek out quickly. MHL doesn't bring him down, and with the bomb still so far away, they have to commit to these duels. Fiku now in a 1-on-2, and MHL just finds it in the first. AGO do start to read into forZe a little bit with that initial spam onto Norway. They recognize that Jerry's been calling in support a few times over. Ferlin thought he'd just go for it, but Zorte still plays his bomb site so nicely. Yeah,
it gets really scary there for AGO. As soon as they want to pull the pin on the push towards this B bomb site, they start getting slaughtered by Zorte's AWP, to mention the supporting riflers that are there on that site as well.
Yeah.
But just being able to balance that between MHL and Fiku and clear out the angles so meticulously, even when the time was ticking low. Great composure there from the AGO players in spite of the chaos. Now forZe's money is on the brink. Could really open up the half here for AGO if they win this round.
You're also starting to see some of that inexperience as well in that late round situation when the 2-on-2, where Shalfie doesn't actually bat. Oh, beautiful. And Zorte sometimes just has the crispest of aims, and we don't see that from his perspective, and that's just such a nice skill to watch on a player who's jumping up on the stairs, just headshot out.
The crosshair placement exercise.
Yeah. Really is. Man's got reps.
Well, not many things going well here for AGO in terms of these opening fights. Very little damage even exchanged onto these forZe players, but Krasnal has slipped the net. Jerry, no idea that he could have made it into cave so early. Still only 2 players here for AGO. Bomb yet to cross, and a smoke should obscure the vision of the forZe players that could stop it. Spam is right on point.
Yeah, and Fiku's basically just gone. Can't really do. I wouldn't even take the save, and well, at least he'll take away a few more CTs with him. He makes it 2. And the remaining 2 players are quite close together, so it'll be hard to find those kills, especially if they want to keep themselves hidden for a while longer. Not quite sure why Norway's got a USB in his hand, but hey, man's gonna do what he's gonna do. forZe do find the 60, even if it is a little bit more labor than they'd like, and they can't quite keep the money healthy. AGO's money, though, is very much gone.
Yeah, potential swing moment. We see that 2-on-2 the way things played out the round prior, but Fiku's been looking pretty hot even in these man deficits. Just being able to claw back a few more of those kills. Like you said, it damaged further that forZe economy.
Yeah.
Because that was a swing between either side, now forZe have this chance to create more distance between them and their opposition. AGO, I mean, we need to see them at least threaten that A-bomb site. Even if you're not too confident in that particular side of the map, just showing that there is some versatility in that direction. You have to keep your opponents honest in some respects. Jared's got an MP9. Nobody else to do with this.
Everything, actually.
Jump at him.
Oh, no. Shalfie. Through the smoke, this makes it work. Krasnal does actually find a very good trade, but donut control fully guaranteed. Jerry had to push, and he's been the secondary trade. This is suddenly going all wrong, and we've already seen AGO pull out a 4 eco before at least this time they do end up losing the gun early on.
No saving grace in having a Galil or another rifle alongside it, so these long-range fights are devastating here for AGO. Look at them. They're just curled up in a corner, talking things out, hugging for warmth. It's getting cold across the world. Winter's coming.
True. Except for in Australia.
Oh, yeah. Does that count? They have like 1 season.
I mean, look, man, you gotta give them some love sometimes.
How long are they just going to stare into each other's eyes? I mean, I know they're
Are we talking about the Extrema members?
Wait, what?
Just kidding.
I don't think many people are talking about the Extremum players.
That is true. In all fairness, that is very true.
Except where do they go next?
I don't think people are even asking that anymore. Zorte, however, the only thing he's asking is, can I get a couple more eco kills, please? Not to mention that these are very important. Regardless, they will let him plan at the end of it all. And that's going to be giving them a fair bit of extra money. So Krasnal, who was down to 350, is going to have a bit more bang for the bank.
Yeah, Zorte not pushing as quick as he possibly could as soon as he heard those digits being dialed in. May have been just a small bit of like misrecognition about what kind of buy they actually came into this round with, whether there was actually an invert. You know, might have thought he had a P250 or a D, you know, make it a bit more doable. So he took a cautious step, but does allow for additional cash injection into the Ago squad. Is that the executes should be flawless. At least in terms of the resources they have to facilitate them.
That looked like he should have been on point. Rare miss from Jerry coming up, but at least he's on point with what he's expecting.
He's applying a lot of pressure.
Did we see this spammed as much with the A4, Michael? Because I swear this is all down to the A1.
Yes and no. Oh my gosh. Taps 4 bullets into his feet.
4 bullets to kill, Michael. That's what Valve said.
Yeah, those walls like don't even register as even a material. It's just it's full damage all the way through.
Nori's just been this consistent supportive element as well. And I mean, I say supportive. He's the second player, and he does generally stay alive for late rounds as well. But he's been a very important piece so far to the forZe defense. But I'm still really hoping that AGO do eventually start testing out the waters of A instead. But now, though, full execute making its way down. Great time with the utility. It is perfect from forZe. 30 seconds left. We're going to have to go through 2 smokes. Fiku might have gotten 1 sure, but the rotations are being called in. Nori's also in a great position aggressively forward where Krasnel's an easy kill, and Fiku's likely going to be joining him. Nice sidestep, and we're right back into it, though. We'll give him that duel, and you're back on a 3-on-3. Jerry all alone. This bomb site about to be occupied. Lemon good for the first, and it's still a 1-on-1. Kenzie has to win it out further, going for the bomb plant. Can he spam it out? Yes, he can, Kenzie. Won't deny, but at least he'll get the round.
Man just went for it as soon as he knew that bomb was being planted because his opportunity might have somehow slipped the net. If he plants the other side of the boxes there on B, maybe there's this chance that we actually see this one-on-one fully play out, but Kenzie just completely denies an opportunity to have this clutch pull through. But AGO, again, yeah, we're kind of hammering in this point because it needs to be shown a little bit more. That's, yeah, his teammate got in the way. The smoke's not gone where it wants to. But we're seeing that B bomb site just being under, not particularly lock and key, but it's just being heavily rotated to so frequently here for forZe that they're ready to fight.
This grenade's gonna be nice, this grenade. However, it doesn't go deep enough. Kenzie's just hard beaking into the eco. Man! He's hungry for the stats.
Well, this is one of the things as well, is that if you constantly go B, those A players are going to get a little antsy. They'll push every now and again just to get even more information, like, yeah, okay, it's another B hit, boys. You can fully stack on over, and so Kenzie had some great support flashes to facilitate that. They're funneling into Zorte's AWP, not going to rattle off the shot just as the smoke blooms. They have the man advantage, so any indicators here for AGO could actually spell a bit of disaster. Problem is that they smoke him off, and they rotate towards the site he's gone to himself. It's B once again.
Ooh, I thought it, Michael. Jerry and company certainly do a spam right now. Would have been quite deadly, and with how often Jerry's been going for spams at one point or the other, it's going to be interesting. But actually, interestingly enough, forZe do rotate players back towards A. They're worried about it because Shalfie's cleared out a lot of space. He's about to clear them all out, though. Peeks in, great trigger discipline, gets himself 2 kills, and you're back on with Krasnel alone, and he will end up falling 9-3. Already a great half from forZe, and something tells me it's going to get...
Yeah, so many of these players feel the freedom to go for these initiative plays in the mid-round. As soon as they realize it's all quiet, they start spreading out. And they look for cracks in the default there from AGO, which has been far too frequent. It hasn't really been too much of a strong default across the map. It's always been B-postured. You know, they've had a bit of mid-focus in a couple of rounds, usually to take some fast control. But really, I'm kind of impressed with what forZe are offering up on the CT side because whenever somebody's going for a push, they have a good amount of support utility. That's part and parcel with how open the skybox is, and just being able to put yourself in these spots where you can bang flashes off of like the skybox and just really make full use of the map.
Wasn't that Molotov banned? Could have sworn. Regardless, though, Shelby. Okay, fair enough. 1-for-1 straight down mid means that Nori is considering backing off, but you know what? Nori's going to decide against it. Fuku for now. Great shot to find on the Kenzie with aggress forward once again. This time, Fuku is a little bit more prescient about the idea, and they found an advantage off the back of it.
Well, now they begin a bit of a slow creep. Holding as well for some of these initiative plays we've seen from forZe so far this half. Jerry just had so much space.
He keeps the spam going, finds himself two. It's back to a 2-on-2, but the problem is still the time. AGO have got ample area to rotate around. Now, they don't have much utility. So these flashes, I'd be surprised if they even get used. I'm expecting a contact play in where they're expecting to trade off of each other if there's anyone there, but what's the call going to end up being?
Gonna have to make some kind of gamble at some point here on the side of forwards, and actually they're splitting up. One player at either side, and the AWP of Zorte may get caught repositioning.
As he's done inching forward, hearing all the footsteps, finds the first. Great kill to find as well. It's on the right flat. MHL now has to play this 1v2 out perfectly. He does have the bomb, but as he'll start to cheat over to try and plant it, that's where you're going to see them getting a bit more bold. Flashbang is good, and Zorte's peak with it will find him his 15th kill. He's on 15 and 5 right now, closely followed by Jerry on 14. Pretty nuts half from both of them so far.
I mean, overall, forZe are playing a pretty airtight game. The reactions are good, and AGO aren't doing enough fast-paced maneuvers, especially in the mid-round. Like, if they're going to go for anything quick, it's usually at the start of the openings of these rounds, and usually when they have pistols. We'll see that exact thing happen in round 14. This fast mid-control in from AGO, and they want to go for quick red room control as well. The flash is perfect. Kenzie overrun.
Even still, the bomb's been found, and Jerry's got another as well. He's doing so much by aggressing onto lane every time, and although they proceed all the way through, Zorte's reaction is perfect. He completely neglects A main, and Donut says, you know what, if you're pushing through that, that's fine, that's whatever. I have to hold on to CT right now so my rotators can come through and help. That's exactly the call he needed to make at that time, and in doing so, you're now in a 4-on-1. Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
When you sit and think about it.
I mean, they got their objective play to work.
Yeah.
Right, that seemed to be the focus. They wanted to overwhelm this mid player, and they did so, but yeah, just being pushed in from the other side because forZe have honestly just been applying so much pressure through Cheetah that it's so difficult for them to make anything work without a proper set of utility constantly meeting them from B main. Oh, now they're messing up smokes as well in T-spawn. Ay, ay, ay.
Can't imagine their mental's good right now. And let's not forget, this is their map pick. That's why forZe is starting off on the CT side.
Potential nightmare half.
I feel like they're already in the nightmare. Just a question of whether or not they'll ever wake up from it. Full B-side execute being planned right now, and it is going to be responded upon with a fair bit of utility. Now, at least they've been able to bait this bits out early on, but in doing so, they only have one smoke left, and that's on Lemon. So, you know, you bait out utility, but you also use most of yours.
Yeah, they don't have much.
They do manage to go back and pick
re-exec.
some up, though. I mean, they've got two now because they went back and picked one up, Norway. However, in the meanwhile, he's actually managed to cheat right past. And the question is, will MHL find anything in the meanwhile? Jerry is going to be taking the first contact, backs off, repeat, catches a player with the smoke, but Lemon is there to cover. Rotation still not here from forZe yet. MHL is still hoping to lock out Norway on the potential aggression to come through, but a flashbang would just mean MHL is dead to rights. Norway knows it as well, but his teammates aren't primed for it, so he goes for the drive peek, and MHL will find it. Molotov is good, and Zorte's now got to defend on his own. 30 seconds on the clock.
Has Kenzie with him, but it's two AWPs where, yeah, the smoke that's down could be so very impactful. Lamont as well, over the shoulder of his teammate, able to deal with one. Kenzie still in the corner and able to get one as well himself, but it's not going to be enough. AGO do get 4, and we'll have to see if they can pick things up in the second half.
And we're back into things. forZe and AGO have found themselves in a situation where AGO at least get to 4. You know, with this round, maybe they can get a bit more done, but right now, forZe are definitely in the position where the game is theirs to lose.
Hey, CT side of meta, isn't it? So let's hope that they can make that work. It's not gone too well at the start of this pistol. MHL taking a lot of damage, and look at the speed they're going in towards Donut. Krasnal has to step up.
Krasnal's going to be able to cheat path the smoke, misses out a lot of shots, and it's a few too many. A 1-for-1 trade is not going to be enough, but MHL is here to pick up the slack. Quick 2 kills for him, back to a 3-on-3, but the bomb can still be planted if forZe want to commit to it soon. Lamont, however, rotating back will prevent that from happening. He's got the dualies and a grenade with it. All 3 of these players on the CT side, though, are going to be very deeply boxed in respective positions, and when they breach CT spawn, Kenzie's kill is just a cherry on top. forZe find a convincing 12.
Damn, as if it wasn't already awkward enough that forZe were picking up the pace so quickly. Krasnal had to push past the smoke, but as he's taking those fights, as he's trying to, players are trying to back off on those duels, MHL, I think, actually killed his teammate in and amongst all the chaos. So AGO, even though they rotated into the action in time, unable to, I mean, ideally sort out their trade situations because it pushed a 4-on-3 into a 3-on-3 very quickly.
Look, the other thing that we have to keep in mind is that forZe versus AGO is actually a little bit of a forZe. Guys, stop killing yourselves! Stop killing yourselves! Well, you know what? It happens in the end anyway, Michael. I guess that's just the thing.
You just look behind him like, why you shoot me in the back, man? He just finished off the job.
Yeah. Well, why not? I will say this though, Michael, especially because it's after everyone on the CT side is dead. It's even funnier.
Yeah.
But forZe versus AGO is actually a very specifically forZe-sided matchup in one regard, so that AGO doesn't actually force buy after they lose a pistol. And forZe has a really bad time with conversion sometimes.
Yeah, they can be, yeah.
Yeah. Guess that's one way to guarantee a second round win, you know?
Yeah, let's just not play teams that like force buying in the second round. Of course, that's AGO's decision based on the fact that they, of course, had a bit of a nightmare first half, so maybe not feeling like they have the same amount of rounds to play with.
They generally also like to save, even if they lose a pistol.
There's another argument for it as well. Side of tendency. Molotov may not spread into the corner like they would prefer, and Fiku, that's an easy frag to find. Jerry was hoping to fully clear out that position. Xiaofi does get a kill in response, courtesy the Galil. Fiku just standing his ground in towards Cheetah is really great signs here from AGO. If they can maintain that kind of composure and follow up gun rounds as well, there is certainly a light at the end of the tunnel. Got themselves into a man advantage as well. forZe very clustered up together, so yet to really make their decision.
AGO, however, cannot be relying on that right now. They've only kept 2 players in towards the B-bomb set, and a quick kill onto Fiku would make this very difficult to actually proceed forward. Lamont's going to be on point with the spray, but instead he rotates back over, wants to take Fiku's position so that MHL can come through on his instead. Meanwhile, the spam's not going to be connecting. A bit of stray damage, but with a Molotov still available for Zorte, this post one's going to be a little bit difficult. They're trailing back into things. All down to Shalfi to make first contact. Molly goes in deep. That's going to be preventing MHL from actually peeking into Shalfi. They're giving Shalfi a lot more space to work off of with all this utility and the distraction coming in for it. And Shalfi's going to have to strike true, finds the first kill, goes out for a second, and you've already won the round, but you may as well get the kills while you're at it. Kenzie, the seal the deal, forZe on 14.
always going to be a hard retake when they have such limited utility, no kits, like you're sort of bringing to light as well. And with only the couple of flashes that they have, they didn't even use both of them. So they were trying to trickle in and win those trades. But forZe, in the same way that AGO, when they got into a post plant on that B bomb site, just very patient, waiting for the CTs to make that first move. AGO didn't have enough to force the issue, didn't force any of these forZe players to make mistakes. That started off with a pretty solid initial hold. You know, Fiku, I don't know what more he's supposed to be able to do in that scenario. And now they're fighting with Deegs and an MP9. Not how your own map pick is supposed to go. Not even slightly.
Ideally. Ideally, also not how your enemy's map pick is supposed to go, in all fairness, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
3-man swarm to 4-man, maybe, actually. To the cave was the plan, but they don't want to hard commit too deep into it. You know, a Molotov or two would have been nice to clear this out, but they don't have as much utility as perhaps they would like at this stage. That is, however, by design. Commitment in towards B is likely going to come through. kenSea with a sharp shot onto MHL, and they do have the bomb site available to them. Jerry's just waiting for the peek out. Lemon on the other side. Jerry does actually get a little bit too minded on that aim. As a result of it, Lemon's good for one.
I tried to bounce around the corner, but to no avail. But the job is already done. B-bomb site cracked like an egg. Now all the gooey goodness spills on out of it. forZe making omelets.
Okay, I was actually about to ask, what kind of egg are we making?
Well, an omelet's not a type of egg, but...
Yeah, but I meant more like...
What are we cooking with the egg?
into?
Yeah, no, I understood. Could have been baking a cake, to be quite fair.
True. But you don't want to have those extra carbs.
The hell?
forZe want to stay the lean, mean fighting machine.
That's what the cake's there for. Why, of course I want the carbs.
That's why you're on making the cake. You're making an omelet. We just had this conversation.
We've just been through this.
forZe, however, have been going through the motions, and they've been serving them pretty damn well. 15-4 right now, a map away from taking it out. And let's not forget, I said it could be a 2-0 for AGO, but hell, if forZe wins it out like this, I'm really thinking of flip-flopping to the other side.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a bit more even than this, but even still, with forZe taking such an early advantage, it's hard not to side with them at the moment. AGO not looking as composed as you'd like. First map. And it could be very swiftly over. They do have the AWP in MHL's hands, and with this elevation that he's been able to attain via Fiku's head, could have certainly been an opening opportunity, but forZe weren't looking to pressure that B side too heavily. Spam is really well timed, though. Norway brought down to 45.
Okay, so there might be some internal friction in either one of these teams, because we're seeing a lot of nades chucked at each other's heads, some shots being fired, some team kills.
Stop shooting me in the back.
Meanwhile, though, Jerry's been shot in the front. That's what a real friend does. Kressel, Fiku, both finding themselves a couple of kills apiece, and with this, it's going to be a 5-on-2. kenSea, at least, will make it a bit more competitive with the AWP on the B-bomb site, rather the A-bomb site. Bomb site everyone wants to be B, though.
And Shalfie begins his world tour of Ancient. Cameraman will follow him along the way.
It's the great escape. Oh. Slowly we go, but what lies in store through the doors of Jumanji? Da-na-na-na.
Oh my god, that zoom's spooky.
It's Fiku. Fiku is very spooky, especially with 10 seconds left, and Shalfie's realized, you know what, I'd rather not have nightmares. I'm just going to chill.
He'd have to just knife out to the bomb site to have gotten that planted. He's been a little too cautious in his approach to B. A few more audible steps, maybe he gets there in time, but instead slowed it to a halt and tapped himself out of the round. Yeah, the spam was great and well-timed from Lemon. The smoke from his teammate, not so much. But even with that, right, even with them finding themselves in this massive man advantage. forZe are able to put themselves in a position where, I mean, that A side take actually looked fairly contestable. If forLan has like a slow reaction or misses that shot, then it completely opens up the scenario there for forZe. It's so important that the players you expect to have impact here for AGO are able to perform, but Ops do trade out on opening kills. Zorte, MHL both finding a kill a pop, but Jerry is the unknown element. Mac 10 in the face of another. Now AGO have to bail themselves out of a man deficit. The forLan AWP is there to strike.
Yeah, going for that pick a few too many times, perhaps without any help of utility and whatnot. And Fiku right now will, at the very least, force players into him with a Molotov, but he might have bitten up more than he can chew. Norway is a mouthful, although now he's got 2 AWPs to deal with, so I guess at least his low HP doesn't matter as much, you know?
And he's out of there. So while we had the Shelfie rotate round from A to B, now we have the Nori rotate from B to A. This one very winnable. 2 AWPs, low HP.
Norway's also managed to cheat past right in towards Donut, or even Red Room if he'd like to go there. So this could be his path to a 1v1 being found.
Sneaky.
forLan's in a position where he can sort of stop this from happening, but at the same time needs to be very careful that he doesn't just get caught off. He misses the shot of a hair. forLan, a Molotov from Norway and a smoke to go with it means that he has to choose between kills very soon. Grenade out as well, just in case he'd managed to push forward. And, oh, Norway's got to be careful. MHL is inside the smoke. MHL just needs a quick pistol shot, and that's exactly what he finds. AGO off the back of that will get the 6th round. Even so, definitely up contested.
Yeah, it's great patience there from MHL, though, not hurrying too quickly to try and back his teammate up, because forLan understood that all he had to do was run towards that B bomb site, and if he was going to chase him down, that's when MHL's timing through that smoke would have been, but instead just waited straight in it, and when Nori jumps straight in towards the A-bomb site instead, that's his opportunity to find a player in the back. Not crumbling under that pressure, even if it does mount towards the tail end of that round. forZe on pistols in number 22. And Lamont is pretty close to the affair. Doesn't have teammates to really back him up. Sure, they have lane control, but Arsenal has to also be a little bit worried about middle.
Michael, I can't remember, but they used to be, I don't know if you got Nickelodeon as a kid. There used to be this game show on Nickelodeon where kids would sort of go into this like challenge room and everything. There'd be like different obstacles you have to overcome. And it was very much like an ancient vibe. Do you remember what it was called?
Oh yeah, it had like a giant, wasn't
yeah,
it like,
a giant talking head and everything.
Yeah, it was
as well?
a giant stone head. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That'll bother me now.
Well, you know what? I'm going to be looking that one up for later on voiceovers whenever we've got for ourselves some cam throughs. Even so, right now, forZe actually end up trading out 2 for 2 and pick up an M4 for the trouble. So, you know, a sneaky kill here or there versus the AWP could make this interesting. There's only 35 seconds left on the clock, so Jerry's really got to be making his boogie work. But where exactly is it going to be getting that work out? Rotations coming out. Quick peek in. Norway's got the kill. Now you're in a 3-on-2. MHL's on the AWP, so is forLan. A quick double peek in could make this very difficult, and MHL's already been forced back. Missing out so many shots and opportunities. MHL, even forLan's been tagged through the crack in the wall. A peek in with the force wins this in the most tragic way imaginable. It's P250s. It's a saved M4. It's a saved bombers, and it's a lot of missed shots.
It's just upgraded pistols, and from every gun that they're able to acquire down the road, it just gets worse and worse and worse. Nori just doesn't let them rotate in effectively. Like, it just keeps applying.